You see that down on the left-hand corner, that little camera? Yes, no? All right, let's see if I can get, yeah, I think I just got it. We'll see if that works. All right. All right, good. So here we go. Right there. Might want to stop play pin. Speaker view. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start just with our knees bent and bring yourself down to the floor. Bring your hands on your hip bones, so right there, and bring your fingertips down towards your pubic bone. And just breathe and see if you can get those to be on the same plane. If we're too post-tilted, your pubic bone is going to be up higher. If you're too anterior tilted, it's going to be down lower. Just see if you can get that nice and flat. At the same time, pay attention to the upper body and make sure that your shoulder blades are on the mat, nice and flat, not curled forward. We have that tendency to bring those arm bones forward, just nice and flat down. And then pay attention to the back of the head, the skull. Drop that chin a little bit towards your sternum as if you have a small orange or peach underneath there so that you're lengthening the cervical spine. Just take a couple of breaths there. Try to feel the pressure from your inhale going all the way down to the pelvis. That pressure helps to activate your pelvic floor. Just nice and simple. And then if you have a ring or a yoga block, you'll put it between your knees. Try not to widen your feet too much. Still try to keep them in line with your sits bones. Bring those arms right down on the floor next to you. And then squeeze a little and see if you can feel those lower abs bringing the two bones a little closer together as the transversus works. So squeeze and release. And exhale as you squeeze. And inhale as you release. One more time, exhale and inhale. Next, as you exhale, squeeze a little and just bring that pubic bone a little bit towards your navel, shortening that space. So now we're not only using the transversus, we're starting to use the rectus that goes from the pubic bone all the way up to where your rib cage comes together. And squeeze, and then tuck a little tiny tuck. And release, flatten that sacrum back down onto the mat. And exhale as you squeeze and bring that pubic bone towards your navel. And then lengthen it back down. One more time like that. Exhale, squeeze, and bring that pubic bone towards your navel. And back down. Next, we're going to go right into a bridge. So those that have osteoporosis, osteopenia, or any other spinal condition that doesn't call for flexion, you're going to squeeze still, but you're going to lift right up from your glutes, right? So no articulation. And then your hinge point for coming down is right here. For those that can do articulation, you're going to bring that pubic bone towards navel. You're going to roll up to the shoulder blades, not to the neck, and reach those knees far away. Take an inhale there and exhale. Bring yourself down, reaching your sits bones for your heels. Trying to lengthen until the entire sacrum is down on the mat. So it might take a little bit longer to get through that last section. And inhale now, and squeeze, and come up. This time bring your arms over your chest. Reach those arms up to the ceiling making a U shape from one hand to the other across the back, and then pull the shoulder blades into the mat. Feel the muscular action there. Let the arms come a little bit behind you, not on the floor. Reach those arms without letting the shoulder blades go up. Take a nice big inhale and exhale, roll down all the way. Don't give up at the waist. Keep going until the entire sacrum is down. And bring those hands back over the chest. One more time like that. Inhale and exhale, squeeze. Inhale to start that tuck. And exhale as you roll to your shoulders. Reach those arms back without letting the trapezius bring them up to your ears. Take a nice full inhale and exhale. Try to push each vertebra closer to your heels to make space from the prior vertebra. And then bring those arms back over the chest. You have the option of keeping your arms here or bringing them down if you need a little more stability, because then you can use the back of your arms, right? Your triceps to help give you a little more surface to support. And then we're going to bring our legs up to tabletop. Now here, if you have a yoga block, it might make more sense to have it between your feet than your knees as far as anatomically, but either place is good. You're going to take a nice big inhale and feel that back nice and long. Don't let yourself arch in the lower back. And as you go down, don't release the rib cage. Try to keep that rib cage sliding towards the pelvis and touch down. And here you can do pointed feet, or you can do flexed feet and tap the heels. But we're not moving from our knee joint. We're moving from the hip socket. And come back up. Play with your own breath. Do one where your inhale is on the down and your exhale is on the return. And do one the opposite way and feel which way you can feel more co-activation of the front and the back muscles, so that you keep that spine nice and stable, nice and secure. We do more than we realize with our back muscles, and we forget to use both sides of the body. So let's pay attention. One more time. And then back up. And now with your legs in tabletop and your arms right over your shoulders, feeling the scapula on the mat, I want you to rotate towards the right, but I want you to try to rotate the pelvis and the shoulder girdle at the same rate. So it's not going to be big. So inhale and exhale, just a little tilt. Make sure you didn't tuck. We're trying to keep the spine long, and come back to center. And inhale as you go over, and exhale to return. So it's not very big, but imagine you're a marionette. Your arms and your legs are moving at the same angle so that we keep the whole spine connected. And back to center. We do some things where we dissociate the top from the bottom. Right now, we're trying to keep it all together. I like to call this one log roll, because once a tree is cut, it doesn't have any option but to move in one piece. So one more time, over. Try to feel how those abdominals are working to keep you connected. And back over. Good. Bring those feet down, arms out in a T, and just gently let yourself twist. So now we are keeping the shoulder girdle on the mat, and we're twisting the lower body over. Just a nice gentle twist. Good. We're going to take that twist a little farther. You're going to come over. Then you're going to reach that opposite arm up over the head, keeping the trapezius down, and turn your head toward your armpit. Reach that hip down towards your feet to lengthen the lumbar, and just take a few breaths there. Trying to breathe all the way down into that hip. One One more nice big inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to return. Take a nice breath there. And then inhale over to the other side. Take that opposite arm over your head. Pull the shoulder blade down the back. Rotate your head towards the armpit. And then reach that hip down long for the feet. Nice big breaths. Try to feel that breath filling up that whole gluteal area. Take another inhale. And on your exhale, come back to center. Let's remove that ring from there. We're going to put it on our skull. Make sure you have it on the cushion part, not on the rim. Those that don't have a ring but have a strap or even a bathrobe tie, you can also do that with your head if you like. Bring those elbows in a 90 degree angle, so we're not trying to open them wide. Keep them right in line with the shoulders. And you're going to take an inhale and lift that head straight up to the ceiling as you exhale. Let the head fall into the ring and back down. One more time like that. So lift straight up to the ceiling and bring that head straight down. We're going to now go just into upper chest. So inhale as you start that lift and exhale, curl and look between your legs. Take a nice big inhale there and return back down. Good. Again, inhale to start your lift, exhale as you flex. Take an inhale there and lengthen the spine all the way back down. 2 more times like that. Lift to begin and exhale and roll back down. And inhale to lift and exhale and roll back down. We'll just say one thing about the lifting part for those that don't normally take class with me. I want you to try to think that the start of that roll up isn't with the neck. It's a lot of pull on those little vertebrae, but right below where your xiphoid process is, where the ribs come together, try to think of reaching that into the floor like a rocking chair, and let that start that lift from there so that the head does not have to pull forward. And then rotate to the right. So we're going up and over. Try to look on the side of your leg, up and over, up and over. Exhale as you flex a little farther, and exhale. So little inhale in the center, and then exhale. One teacher just told me he just cares that people keep breathing. So you can figure out if one way helps your motion a little bit more than the other. And up, and up. Let's do 2 more times, and up, and up. One more, reach, and reach. Come to center, and back down. Good. We're going to do a roll up with the ring. So this is one where if you don't have anything to change the exercise, you're just going to do regular roll up. That's totally fine. For those that it's contraindicated to do flexion, you're just going to do a flat back and come back up. So really try to keep that back flat. The tailbone's going to tuck under. That's absolutely okay. It's absolutely safe for your back. But if you have any condition in your spine where you're not supposed to do flexion, you're just going to do that work right there. For those that do have a magic circle, you're going to put the ball of your foot into that circle. You can have the other leg bent or straight, whichever is good for you. And you're going to start curling up, push into that ring, and come all the way up, nice and tall. And then start by bringing that tailbone under. Resist that roll down, push into that ring. It helps you go a little bit slower and try to really articulate on the way down. We're just going to do 3 more on this side, and curl and push. Keep the shoulders in the socket. Sit up nice and tall. Feel from the sits bones to the crown of the head. Then tailbone goes under. Push and come down as slow as you care to. Good. 2 more. Inhale to start and exhale. Nice and tall. Inhale and roll down nice. Separate, lengthen. Think of really laying one vertebra on the mat at a time. And last time on this side, and reach. Come up, sit nice and tall. And then curl. And all the way down. Good. Let's go to the other side. So change feet. Shoulders are down into the mat to start. Just start your curl on an inhale and exhale. And all the way up. And see if you can feel a difference from one side to the other. If one hip is weaker, you might feel a shift in the pelvis. So try to stabilize. Just like in regular roll down, use these to get a little bit more each time right into your midline. And then curl. And one more. If you're feeling yourself wiggle around, try to think about that leg that's on the floor and try to push that thigh bone towards the floor for a little more stability. And roll down. Good. And come down. We'll just take a little break. Again, let's do a little bit of arms. So let's just bring our arms down to the hips, up over the head, and reach, 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 reach as you're going. Reach long. Keeping the shoulders in the socket, so those shoulder blades are staying on the floor, but you're trying to reach the whole arm away. One more this direction. Reach, 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 reach. And reverse. Reach out first. Let that bone rotate in the socket and then back down. Just 3 more. Reach. Nice and wide. Keep the shoulder blades down. And last 2. Reach. And up. And down. And one more. Reach. And come down. Good. Let's do one more thing with our bridging. We're going to again come up into a bridge. Nice, and feel that nice expanse of the shoulder girdle giving you support. Use your arms and reach one leg out. And now lift up and tap down. Lift up and tap down. Lift up. Lift up. And 5. 5 more. 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Put that foot down and gently roll all the way down. Reassess. Make sure the pelvis is level. Shoulder girdles are active. Triceps are helping you. Bring that pubic bone towards your navel. Roll up to that wide shoulder girdle. Reach the other leg out long and tap down and lift, down and lift, down and lift. My ring is slipping and lift. 5 more and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring that foot down, lift those hips up a little higher and squeeze in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that squeeze as you roll all the way down and come out. Now you can do this without the ring, but for some people it's a good reminder. We're going to just do a little hamstring stretch. So what happens often is people think this is a good place to be, but then when they're opening their leg it's moving to there. So try to find where it is that that thigh can stay in its position, and just flex that foot, reach the heel to the ceiling and release it back down. And reach up, 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 and let it come back down. One more time, reach up and let it come down. We're going to bring that foot back up and just flex and point. And flex, really stretch that calf. Flex and point. One more, flex and point. Do little ankle circles. One more this direction and reverse. Good. And then bring that to the ball of the foot. Now here's a place where if you don't have a magic circle, if you have any sort of belt or tie or yoga strap, you could use that there. Let that other leg come down. We're going to go across the body. So even if you don't have anything, you can still go across the body. If it's too much weight on that hip, just let yourself hold at the knee joint, but try to stretch that foot away so you get a nice stretch. Play with your positioning, whether lower or higher is better and gives you more stretch. And then you're going to come back to the center. So same way here, if you don't have it, you're going to just turn out from the top of the hip. Think of that hip reaching for the opposite foot to try to keep you in the midline. You're going to come out to the side. Check with yourself that you're not hiking that hip up towards the waist, and bring it out. It doesn't matter how far out. You need to keep the other side of the pelvis level. So if you bring it too far and you rock, you've defeated the purpose. We're trying to get a lot of stability in that lower region. And then bring that back up. Release that foot and bring it back down. Bring that other leg up and either hold with your hands or hold with your ring. Try to find the position that's right for your body and flex and push that heel to the ceiling, straightening the whole back line of the leg. Release. And bring that heel up towards the ceiling and relax. Two more. Up to the ceiling, reach, 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 and release. And one more time, up and release. Bring it back up, and you're gonna flex, and you're gonna point. So we're working the ankle now. The toes are the last thing. We're really trying to get that range in the ankle. One more time, and then do your circles. Just 5 in each direction. Remember to go the opposite way. Good. And then if you have the ring, you're going to bring it here. If not, you're going to just let yourself come over. Keep both sides of the pelvis level. So even right now, think of that sits bone reaching for the opposite foot, the opposite thigh bone reaching into the floor for stability. It's okay on this one if it comes off, the hip comes off a little bit. That's pretty natural. But we don't want to do a twist. So try to keep that pelvis as level as you can as you go over. And breathe. Trying to stretch out that leg on the side body, right? It's more for the side and the tensa fascia lata. And then come to the center. Externally rotate from the top of the hip. And then you're going to think of reaching for the other foot with your sits bone and out to the side. Keep this down. If you start to feel yourself roll, try to think of that pull that happened to the bones coming closer together when you were squeezing that ring, and see if you can do that without the ring so that you keep this down. Don't let that opposite hip hike up to the waistband. Keep the rotation so that it stays level, and come back to the center, release, and bring that foot down. We're going to go into leg circles now. So here again, it's about lumbar stability and the lower back and the sacrum. So you want to not think about how big can you go. You want to think of how stable can you stay. So even if your circle has to be up towards the ceiling, That's better than rolling around. We're not doing that type of circle. So extend that opposite leg nice and long, and then go across the body, down, open and up. Either inhale for half and exhale for half, or play with one big inhale and one big exhale. Two more this direction. Keep reaching that leg away though. We're trying to make space in the hip socket and come up. Same thing, external rotation from the top of the leg, keeping both sides of the pelvis down, open, across and up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, swoop it back up. 3 more, and back up. And 2, and up. And 3. Now reach for the ceiling. Imagine you're needing to paint a wall with your toes. Don't give up till you're all the way down. Keep lengthening right through the hip flexor. Good. Other leg comes up. Stabilize the pelvis and across, down, open and up. Let's see if I'm going to hit that furniture. Almost. And reach. Sorry, my room is pretty small. And 4. Keep your breath. And 5. 1 more. And 6. Come to the top. Make sure you're centered. Make sure the hips have an offset. Externally rotate. Reach for that other foot. This thigh bone is reaching for the floor. And come up. Reach for the foot and then come up. So think of your return as reaching for the shoulder, even though none of us are built that way except for prima ballerinas. 2 more, but still think of that reach. Last one, reach. Now reach up nice and long out of the hip socket. Keep that reach going all the way down to the floor. Good. Let's bring our feet to the floor, knees bent, and just let those feet stay together and open up. Just stretch. Now think about the knees reaching away. A little activation in the glutes, a little lengthening in the bone, and just a nice little reach. And bring those legs back together. One more stretch for the quad. So bring your feet to the edges of your mat. Bring one knee over to the other foot. And wherever that is for you, reach that knee away. Be careful if you've had a hip replacement. Please do not do this one. Internal rotation would probably not be a good idea. And this is definitely internal. Come back to center. Let that other knee go towards the opposite foot. And then reach through the knee to get a stretch in the quad. Nice big stretch. Let's do that one more time. Come back to center. Reach over and reach away. And then come back to center. Last side, over and reach. Making that thigh bone nice and long. And come back to center. I want to do a few rollovers. I'm not sure if I have enough room in my room, but we'll try. So for those that don't do rollovers because of anything, whether it's high blood pressure, pressure in the eyes, lower back issues, just go from here. You're going to come up and you're just going to practice lifting the hips. So I want you to think of that lift coming from here, not starting so much in the sacrum. Think of it a little bit higher up where the lumbar and the thoracic spine come together. So for you, you're going to just try to think of that spot sinking down and lifting up. So it's less of a tuck than it is a lift with the tailbone reaching away. And if people just want to try that, it's actually pretty difficult. But believe it or not, it's what babies learn to do to lift their bottom. So you'd think it would be easier. Let's start with our legs together. 45, 90, up and over. Spread those legs the width of your shoulders and slowly come down. Once your hips are on the floor, swoop those legs back to that 45 and bring them up, open them up, and roll down. Nice and slow. Hips are down, swoop around. 2 more this direction. Open those legs and roll down. And swoop around. Last one. Bring those legs up, over, and roll down. This time when you swoop those legs, you're going to keep them open, hip distance, and then you're going to come up and over, squeeze, and roll down. Reach around, legs stay apart. Reach up and over, squeeze together, and use the whole inner line to keep those legs together. 2 more, 45, 90, up, squeeze, and roll down. And last one, up and over, squeeze, and roll down. Good. Bring those feet to the floor. Let's go right into our hundreds and then our series of 5. So here again, if you have a ring or a yoga block, you can have it between your knees or between your ankles. If not, you're just going to do regular hundreds. So you can decide if your legs are going to stay tabletop. If you have hip flexor tension, you might like it better straight over your hips or else on your angle. So we're going to do 1 for nothing, just for you to choose a shape for today. And then we'll do the second time, we'll go right into it. And for people that have been doing it for a long time, you might also like to play with lowering and lifting the legs for each cycle. So all of that's your choice. So inhale to start and exhale, come into a shape. Feel those lower abs. Can you hold that shape? Come back in. So here we go. Inhale, exhale, and in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 more. If you need to change anything, do it now. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. Last 2. Reach up. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Come in, roll down. Just roll your head right and left, relaxing the neck. You're going to keep that ring wherever you have it. We're going to start with double leg stretch, so that way you can just stay there. So exhale to come up and inhale to lengthen. And exhale, pull in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. You can also do this way if your neck starts to bother you. Let's do 4 more. Good. We're going to go into single leg stretch. You'll just use the ring over the leg. Ready? And switch, and switch. If your neck bothers you, you can also hold your head to make that go away, that tension. Reach that leg long, nice and long. And reach. And 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. And come down for a moment. If you want to keep holding your ring, you'll give a little pressure in or come inside the ring and a little pressure out. It's your choice. It just works different aspects of the arm. And we're just going to use the ring as a marker for tapping the leg on our single scissors. Ready? Curl up. If that's too much, lay your head down and tap, tap, and change. Tap, tap, and change. I like to exhale when the leg comes up, but you can figure out what works for you. And 4. and 5. Let's try for 10 today. So 5 more sets. And 4. Keep reaching up. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. We're going to do lower lift, and on lower lift, everybody's head is supported, either with your hands or with your ring or your strap. And you're going to make sure that your head is pushing back into your hands so you're not pulling on the little neck vertebra. And you're going to raise the legs up. You're going to curl up, and we're going down 2, 3, 4, and up for 1. And down 2, 3, 4, and up for 1. And down 2, 3, 4, and up for 1. Down 2, 3, 4, and up for 1. Stop whenever you need to. Keep that lower back down. If straight legs is too much of a lever, bend at the knees. Otherwise, we're doing 3 more sets. And up. And 2. And up. And last 1. And up. Good. Bring those legs to tabletop. Here again, you can either hold your hands and crisscross this way, or put it to your skull, relaxing the neck back. Legs are like single leg stretch, except we're going across for obliques. And change. Remember, it's an up and over, not just an up and not just an across where you're working on your shoulders. Reach up and up. Let's do 4 more sets. And 3. And 2. And 1. Come to the center. Come down. Just stretch your arms and legs nice and long. Flex those heels and reach the right fingertips and the right heel away. And release. Other side, reach away. Feel that stretch in the front of the abdomen and release. Now we're going to do that once more, but this time we're going to go for a little stretch in the oblique chain. So right hand, left foot reaches away. It'll feel slightly different. It may be very subtle. And come back. Make sure you keep the scapula on. Right leg, left arm. Keeping the scapula on the mat. And return. Good. Let's come to our quadruped for now. So we're going to come into our all fours. You can have your toes turned under if that's better for you, or you can have them flat. Some people, their ankles have a choice as to, have a preference, I should say, as to what works better for them. So first, you're just going to lift one foot towards your butt. Make sure that your spine is nice and long. Don't let yourself sag there. Don't sag between the shoulders. And also don't hyper kyphotic. Don't reach that upper part too far away. So think mainly of the crown of the head reaching away from the tailbone. And then think of the back of the head a little bit towards the ceiling so that it's more in line with the spine. You're just going to let that foot roll over, and then you're going to try to look for that foot, a little lateral stretch over to the other side and look for that foot and come back and over and look for that foot and back and look for that foot and back. One more time, look and back and look and back. Put that foot down. Other side, reach it over and look. You should feel that work right around between the lower ribs and the pelvis. Little lateral work. And look. 2 more sets. And look. And back. And look. And back. Put that foot down. Let's just do maybe 3 cat-cows. So try to remember, you want the hands right under the shoulders. Spread those fingers so that the weight isn't all towards the back of the hand which goes into the wrist. Make sure it's spread across all those fingers as well. Have yourself in a nice long back. And now as we come up into Angry Cat, it's really easy to start down in the pelvis. That's what it wants to do. So try to see if you can start from the upper body and roll down to where it's easiest to the pelvis and get that pelvis over the thigh bones. And then reach long, come back to your neutral. And now reach the head and the tailbone away first, and then reach them up to the ceiling. Still pushing down into the arms so you don't just fall in between the shoulders. Come back to your long line, and then again, try to start from the top and roll down. Come back to your neutral, and try to tuck up, reach up, reach that tailbone up and the top of the head up. And last time, come back to your neutral and curl under. Curl that pelvis until it's over the thigh bone. And come back to neutral. Reach long. And then stretch. It should feel like a stretch in the front of the abdomen. And then come down. Now, if you need to stretch your wrists, you have different ways you can do it. You can simply just turn the palms up and stretch the other direction. You can circle them. Or you can bring the back of the hands together and lift those wrists up, trying to keep the back of the hands together as the elbows drop. So those are different ways to relax, going the opposite direction than what we were before. That's the main thing, just reverse the action. We're going to do one more thing from quadruped. So get yourself nice and stable. Remember that the shoulder girdle has a front and a back component, so don't just think of one and not the other. So the first thing I want you to do is just stay in your neutral, but have your toes curled under. And then you're going to gently lift the knees just an inch or two off the floor, and you're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently tap those knees back down. Try to keep control the whole way. Spread the shoulders. Get the whole torso ready. Don't let the ribs drop. Keep them in line with the pelvis. Get that activated first, and then lift those knees and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back down. Just one more time. Stretch across the shoulders. Feel the connection between the ribs and the pelvis. Keep that spine long. Don't drop the head and don't lift the head. The eyes should be down. And lift those knees up. Now shift a little through the hands and a little back. Don't tuck. Try to keep neutral. A little forward and a little back. One more time. Forward and a little back. Come back to your neutral. Bring the knees down, widen those knees, and take yourself into a child's pose and roll those wrists while you're down there. Let yourself get a little stretch. Make sure you don't collapse that rib cage down. Still lift up, activate the abdominals so that the stretch does not just collapse everything and go into the lumbar. Let's come up to seated and have your legs a little bit apart. If you do have a ring, bring it into the middle with your hands on top. If you don't have a ring, you can either just reach forward with nothing, or you can reach on the legs. So it's up to you. Ready? Sit up nice and tall. You should feel those sits bones underneath you. Reach to the crown of the head. Imagine you have one of those physio balls in front of you, so you're not going to collapse in the lower body. Bring that waistband back towards the spine as you reach the spine forward. And then come back up. Play with your breath. Try one time going forward on the exhale and one time going forward on the inhale. See which one feels better for you. Ready? Sit up nice and tall. Choose your breath and reach forward. And pull that waistband back and curl back up. Whichever breath you use, change your breath. Use the other one. See how they feel different. One will feel like a little bit more stretch in the back when you get to the bottom, and the other one will feel different. You'll feel it in a different place. Decide which one you want to try again, which one felt better for you. Last one, reach. And waistband back to the spine to start that return. Good. I'm going to turn the other direction. We're going to do another reach forward. So for this one, the beginning, you're going to keep that pelvis perpendicular to the mat as you reach forward, same as you just did. Now you're going to reach from the sits bones, bring the arms with you. You don't need the ring to do this, right? But nice and long from your tailbone to the crown of the head, and then pulse back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now bring that waistband back and curl all the way up. One more to the center. Ready? And keeping the pelvis perpendicular, just move and articulate the spine. Now you're going to lengthen everything from the bottom. And if you have tight hamstrings, bend your legs. I forgot to say that. 4, 5, bring that waistband back and curl all the way up. We're going to do one to the right and one to the left. So sit up nice and tall and forward and reach. Now just rotate the torso to the right and pulse back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center, pull that waistband back and roll up the spine. Last one, nice and tall, and reach forward. And then from the sits bones to the crown of the head, nice and long, and pulse. Rotate, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotate back to center, waistband towards the spine, and then roll up all the way. Sit nice and tall. I'm going to turn this way for you. Let's just do an arm stretch. So bring one hand around, wrap over, and reach up on an inhale. Pull those elbows down for an exhale. One more time, reach up for an inhale and down for an exhale. And then unwrap and just have yourself pull across, sitting up nice and tall as you do that. And then let's change the cross. Reach and reach up on an inhale and really big exhale. And reach up and exhale. I'm going to do one more on this side. It's my bad shoulder, or less flexible shoulder, I should say. And then you're just going to reach across. So arm is long, reaching. And then you're going to unwind. Let's come to our side. And if you have a ring, you can use it. If you don't need it. So actually, let's have the bottom leg inside the ring and the top leg on top. If you have your ankle bone right over that soft spot, it'll help. So you're going to press down with the top leg and press and press and press and press and exhale. Exhale, exhale, 2 more, exhale. Exhale. Good. Now hold that steady and lift the bottom leg up. 2, 3. Keeping your chest up or down, doesn't matter. But get into the habit of this so I could see people in class. and 2 more. Good. Now carefully roll that roller back and then slip that lower leg out, which mine is not cooperating today. Put it under that spot and come back up. So it's right above your ankle bone where that little cavity is, and both legs up. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now you're going to roll just a little bit back on that hip. You're going to lift those legs up and you're going to pull them in and reach them long and pull them in and reach them long. So it's just a little back on the hip. And 4. Let's do 4 more. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now reach both legs up and try to squeeze them both together. 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. We're going to change sides because I have a tendency if I go too long, I forget something on the other side. So let's change over now. Bottom leg is inside to start, and top leg is on top. And ready, press down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach that bottom leg up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready? So roll that roller back, the ring back, and put that ankle underneath that cushion. And then roll it back up on that bone. Ready? And now we're going to lift up and down and up and down and up and down, up and down. Bring it up a little and try to squeeze them both to the center. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now roll a little bit back on the cheek, and then you're going to bring those knees in and reach them long, and bring them in and reach long. You don't really need a ring for this. It just gives you a challenge of keeping that connection. And reach in and long. Exhale. Inhale. 4 more. Inhale. And 3. And 2. And 1. Bring it down. Let's bring that ring in front of us and lie yourself down. We're going to do side kicks. Have the ring be about chest height. It sort of just gives you a little bit more stability. So the bottom leg will be in kickstand position. You're trying to have your pelvis and your shoulder girdle lined up as if they're on a wall. The leg is going to be reaching out nice and long. You're going to come to the front with a flex foot, impulse, and reach long back. Try not to tuck when you come forward, and try not to arch when the rib cage when you come back. Right, just working that leg in the socket and reach and long and reach and long. 4 more. Reach and long and reach and long. And I like to exhale and inhale as I lengthen. Last one, and inhale, lengthen. Good. Let's do bicycle, and then we're going to do hot potato. So start in the front, bend that knee, carry it back, and then open. Reach forward, bend, carry, so you get a lengthening in the hip flexor, and bend, reach, and forward, bend, reach, and forward. 1 more, reach. Now leave it there. Bend the knee, carry it forward, then open it. Reach long, bend, and open. Reach long, bend, bring it forward, and open. Reach, and open. Reach, and open. Reach, and open. One more. Reach, and open. Now tap down in the front, reach it up and over, and tap down in the back. Trying to get a nice range of motion in the back. And tap. Lift over and down. And tap. And over. 4 more. And 4. And over. And 3. And over. And 2. And over. And last one. And over. Now just reach that leg long and just do about 6 little circles in each direction, trying to keep the torso absolutely still. Just moving that leg. Reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come down. Let's go to the other side, and then we'll stretch the hips all together. Ready? So the circle, if you're using the circle, is in front of your hand. The bottom leg is in what I like to call kickstand. If you don't have a circle, you can put your hand on the floor for extra support. If you don't need that, you can just forget about that hand altogether. But do make sure the shoulder girdle and the hips are together. Make sure that top hip is not falling towards your waistband. You're not going to try to tuck to get farther. Pulse, pulse, and you're not going to arch to get farther. You're trying to keep the torso, just move the leg in the socket, trying to work the back of the body and the front, right? To keep a little length. So when you go to the back, try to open a little bit more without opening the rib cage to get a little stretch in those hip flexors. And forward and back. 2 more. Forward and back. And forward and back. Reach it up, tap it down, up and over, tap it back, up and over, tap it front, up and over, and back, and up, and down, up, tap back, up, and down, up, tap back. Let's do 3 more. Up and back, and 2, and back, and 1, and back. Now reach that leg long. Try to keep it in line with the hip and just do 6 little circles in each direction. And reverse. And then bring it in. Lie on your back and do a figure 4 stretch for each hip. If you have a stretch from yoga that you prefer, just use that. Okay, no problem. Didn't need to see that. So we're just going to end with one more upper body because we're at 11 o'clock now. And we want to get that upper body extension in. So come onto your belly. And have yourself on the floor. So try to think of the elbows being about at the height of the ears rather than too far forward or too far back. And just let the hands fold in towards each other and have them be in front of your shoulders. And then lie yourself down, slightly externally rotate the legs to get the pressure out of the kneecap. Now try to think of the pubic bone coming towards the mat, but try to do that with the lower abs rather than by squeezing the glutes. So try to get the front of the body to work and then lift the waistband up, or think of it as the lower ribs up. The eyes are facing the floor at this point. Bring the shoulders up towards your ears, roll them down the back, And then try to externally rotate from that position, the top of the arm bone, so we get the serratus anterior and the lats to help keep those shoulder blades in place. Now think of a turtle. Think of the back of the head reaching a little bit towards the ceiling, then reach the crown of the head forward. Don't let yourself tuck or arch, and just bring that head up a little bit. Try to keep a connection in the front of the abdominals, and the back is working as well. And then come back down. Check all those markers again. Go through them in your head. Make sure you're lifting and pushing all those spots, right? And then reach the crown of the head forward and lift it up. Now try to think of pushing into your hands. So you're going to come off the forearms, but keep the rib cage connected to the pelvis and come up. Now if you can bring the crown of the head a little higher. And then come down. The weight should be going to the lower pelvis, top of the thighs. One more time, just like that. So check your markers, pivot bone down, waistband lifted, shoulder blades roll towards the buttocks, external rotation of the top of the arm bone, reach the back of the head towards the ceiling, reach the crown of the head forward, keep that tailbone reaching the opposite direction, little lift, then push into the hands, come off of the forearms, but keep the connection between the rib cage and the pelvis. Once you're there, reach that head a little more up, but don't give up the abdominals in the front. And come back down. And bring those hands back under the shoulders and give yourself another child's pose. If you have a problem with your knees or tight hips, you can put a yoga block under your hips so that the knees don't have to fold as much. Makes a really big difference between that angle and this angle, right? Just put something under those bones to help, and it can even be higher than that. Doesn't matter, but it helps to get the pressure out of that joint so the bones aren't rubbing against each other, and just reach forward. So don't let the abdomen drop. That just goes into the lower back. Keep that spine nice and protected, nice and long through the crown of the head. Then bring those hands over to the right and get a nice stretch on the side body. And come back to center and bring those hands to the left. Nice stretch. Come back to center. And then let's do one more stretch. So just sit any way that's comfortable. The legs can be straight, legs can be crisscrossed, it doesn't matter. This is one because we're so much more on our screens since we've been sheltered in place. This is to help open that up. So you're going to bring your hands to the top of your head like a little candle flame. Then you're going to tuck your chin a little and pull the back of the head back. Like if you were on a wall, you try to reach that wall. Keeping the elbows back, head back. Try to have the hands over the crown. You're going to slowly try to reach up without letting those elbows come forward. The palms will not be completely touching as you keep extending. It'll only be the fingertips that reach, shoulder blades down the back, elbows back. Keep telling yourself those markers. Back of the head back, rib cage down, elbows back, elbows back. Nice opening of the upper spine, elbows back. Take a few breaths there, trying to reach from the sits bones to the fingertips, head back, elbows back, rib cage down, and reach long. And then bring it back down. And thank you all for being here. I'm going to turn off the record button, and then if anybody has anything to say, we will open up everybody's mic. And there we go.